Hello peoples of the internet, my name is ComicPear. You see this? Well, what if we made a bajillion more of these little nerds? For the uninformed, Five Nights at Freddy's is a multimedia, but mostly video game franchise that centers around haunted Chuck E. Cheeses. You're trapped in an office and your goal is to survive until 6 AM while the possessed machines look to assassinate you like you're some sort of foreign dictator. Despite being a dark horror franchise, Five Nights at Freddy's has a lot of kid-oriented merchandise. This is likely due to FNaF being located in various children's entertainment locations, or money. With so much stuff related to these games available to purchase, let's see which companies have dipped their fat little fingers into mass-producing these marketable killing machines. Ah yes, Funko. If you're a FNaF fan, you're probably aware of them, and if you're not a FNaF fan, you're probably tired of having so many dead-eyed bobbleheads stare you down in the toy aisle of Walgreens. Funko is one of the biggest contributors to Five Nights at Freddy's merch, pumping out all sorts of strange trinkets, all varying in quality. They've got their infamous pop figure line, but there's also plushies, action figures, mystery minis, and whatever these abominations are. Most FNaF fans above the age of 9 can agree that a lot of these products aren't that great. Even I, who collects and enjoys these things, can tell you that they aren't the greatest thing you could buy. Well, unless you're a cheapskate parent looking for some simple toy to pacify your child of eldritch terror. However, if you're an adult looking for real collectibles, then the next company's got you covered. A lot of FNaF fans believe that Sanchi is the company who produces the highest quality FNaF collectibles. While the prices can be iffy for some, plenty find them to be worth it. Back in the day, Sanchi would produce everything from plushies to pins to clothing. However, they lost their license a few years back, which led to a lot of their FNaF products becoming rare. Luckily, they just recently renewed their license, bringing back some of the most high-quality FNaF merchandise known to man. Mojo is an interesting company. They tend to capitalize on viral indie horror games over anything else. Bendy and the Ink Machine, Baldi's Basics, Doki Doki Literature Club, Granny, and heck even Piggy from Roblox. However, before all that, they managed to get their grubby, trend-hopping hands on the FNaF license. Sort of. You see, Mojo didn't fully make any actual FNaF merchandise. I'm not even sure if they technically had the license. Instead, they helped Sanchi make certain releases of their plushies. But yeah, other than that, they didn't release a single thing. Do you like Legos? Too bad, you're getting McFarlane instead. McFarlane Toys is a company that produces construction sets for different franchises. I mean, they also make action figures, but who really cares about that? FNaF is one of McFarlane's most popular licenses, and to be honest, I can see the appeal. Who wouldn't want their own miniature showbiz pizza? McFarlane has produced a large amount of FNaF construction sets, each with their own very accurate minifigures of the animatronics. They have their flaws, but they're overall very neat. They also made these little 8-bit Build-A-Figures, each made with off-brand Lego bits. McFarlane Toys is definitely one of those companies that tries to put some quality into their work. This next company, however, is probably one of the worst ones to ever hold the license. Wow, this looks like trash. Just Toys is responsible for these, and these. Why did these exist? Money. Do I really care? No. Rads made these little candy dispenser things. That's kind of all they did. If you're the person who fancies themselves a nice, high-quality poster to hang on your wall, then Trends International is not for you. Okay, maybe that's an exaggeration. They made some pretty good ones, but they also made these. These posters use fan-made models, a problem that a lot of FNaF merchandise has. I mean, come on, the models don't even look that close to the actual thing. They weren't even consistent with the Foxy one. The other ones use the i6 NIS models, while the Foxy one uses Everything Animations models. Whatever, they're just posters. Let's move on to cooler stuff. Never mind, this isn't much better. You can thank ThinkGeek for these flashlight things that get boring after 1 millisecond. They also made a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza inspired pizza kit, which I will admit was a smart idea. Now kids can really feel like an underpaid chef as they burn down their entire apartment complex. There are these FNaF labeled gummy pizzas and a cereal called Nightmare Puffs. I'm not really sure what company actually produced them, but they apparently only sold at FYE, so I assume they made them. Moving on. You probably know NECA for their beautifully accurate action figures. Well, what if I told you they made this? Despite being known for making high-quality products, NECA really dropped the ball with the FNaF license. Not only did they make these stupid earphone scalers, but they also made this weird-looking Freddy pillow and these plush backpacks. The only noteworthy product they produced with the license was this big Freddy statue that's honestly pretty cool. Despite what they did, I'd be interested in seeing what else NECA would do with the FNaF franchise now, knowing their track record. Maybe they'll get the license to make merch based on the upcoming movie, and learn to take the franchise more seriously this time. Well, as seriously as you can take robots controlled by ghost-infused metals. They made these squishies. They made these dumb costumes. There was actually some concept art shown for some pretty good-looking costumes by Rubix. However, they never actually released. I assume it has something to do with the pandemic or whatever, but so hopefully once this is done, they'll release them. They showed images of these inflatable costumes, but they never actually released them. If you're in the FNaF plush collecting community, you know what good stuff is. They make cheap plushies for arcades and claw machines. They range in quality from this to this. To be fair, arcade plushies like these are made quickly and cheaply in bulk, as attractions need them to be put on display or to trick kids into thinking they can actually win them. So in the end, it's more to do with the market itself than the actual company. Creator Inc. is a brand that typically makes clothing and other items for YouTubers. The only other game they've worked with is Kindergarten, which I hold as one of my favorite indie games. Creator Inc. has worked with YouTube channel The Game Theorists in the past for the Theoryware line of clothing, and since The Game Theorists and its main man MatPat have been an integral part of FNAF's theorizing community, it only made some sense for the Game Theorists, Creator Inc. and FNAF to release some merchandise together. Creator Inc. launched its FNAF collection of Theoryware, and then everyone just, forgot about them. The only really notable products were this glowing lamp thing and these collectible coins. But yeah, these kind of fell into obscurity after a bit. It just wasn't too noticeable. Markiplier, the YouTuber that arguably brought FNAF to where it is today, along with Jacksepticeye, who also helped roll the FNAF ball across the internet. They made their own clothing brand called Cloak. Just like MatPat and Creator Inc.'s Theoryware, Cloak gained the FNAF license and brought out some new merchandise. Just like with Creator Inc., none of it was really notable, just little garments you could buy. It was also very expensive, which definitely drove away a few people. However, there was one product that definitely got people's attention: the Golden Kazoo. This kazoo was labeled as the Cassidy Kazoo, which threw tons of FNAF fans into a frenzy. If you're a sane person who hasn't attempted to understand the complex lore of Five Nights at Freddy's, Cassidy was the unconfirmed name for the child possessing the Golden Freddy character in the game, and since this kazoo was golden and labeled as Cassidy, people put the dots together pretty quickly. Of course, due to FNAF being mysterious with no direct answers, the little instrument was swiftly renamed to the 1987 kazoo, with 1987 being an integral date in the FNAF timeline. Of course, the kazoo on its own wasn't anything really special. The story is what truly elevates the product into being memorable. They made this children's board game. It also uses the i6 NIS Freddy model. Truly horrifying. Want to ruin your friendships? Do it the FNAF way. USAopoly is responsible for a lot of recognizable board games. So of course, they got the FNaF license and slapped it onto Monopoly and Clue. Now, I've never played FNaF Clue, but I have played FNaF Monopoly, and just like real Monopoly, I don't remember any of the rules. The little thing that they did was that if you bought FNaF Monopoly at GameStop, would have box art of the twisted animatronics from the FNaF books, even though the game didn't feature them in any capacity outside of that. Oh yeah, you also got this little playing piece or something. At the time that this video was being written, NFTs were the big craze, and I was hoping that by this time they'd be as dead as the Wii Shop channel. They're not. But anyways, if you don't know what an NFT is, they're collectible digital files, or as I like to call them, overpriced JPEGs. Wax is one of the companies that churns out these scams. They have the FNaF license for a day, and then due to backlash, they lost it right away. As far as we're aware, Scott Cawthon, the creator of FNaF, didn't really know what NFTs were and pretty much gave Wax the license to jump onto the bandwagon. Either way, I'm glad I don't have to blame Freddy Fazbear for the destruction of her planet. Instead, I can blame him for the death of multiple people. Makeship is a company dedicated to making plushies of content creators. They've also collaborated with a few games, most notably Dark Deception, to make merchandise of their characters as well. Now, just like with Fat Mojo, I'm not entirely sure if Makeship legitimately had the FNaF license. The only reason I put them on the list is because they made this. This is a plush from Makeship that came from Dako, a notable FNaF YouTuber. The plush is based on his Poopit character, which is based on the actual Puppet character from FNaF. The Poopit also appeared in the charity game Freddy in Space 2, which was an official FNaF title. Either way, the plush itself is holding the actual puppet mask, this thing. And Dako said the plush was officially approved, so I assume that has to count for something. U2s is a collectibles company responsible for making tons of, well, collectibles based on, well, YouTubers. Of course, they also have products for other types of content creators, such as Twitch streamers, along with various media franchises. One of those franchises is FNaF. Now, at the time of recording this, there are no legitimate FNaF U2s out. All we know is that they're working on figure collections for FNaF and the Fazbear Fanverse that are meant to be out around the summertime, if I'm correct. However, we have these. These are U2's figures of the YouTubers Dako and Razbowski on their pages. They are said to be officially licensed FNaF products, obviously due to Dako holding the glitch trap head and Razbowski wearing a Willy Matthew bathing suit. But yeah, that's about all that U2's has released for FNaF. Now let's move into the final company. Throughout this video, I have mentioned Dako, one of the most well-known YouTubers in the Five Nights at Freddy's community. Well, in early 2021, he revealed his new clothing/toy brand called Hexx. Hexx is also meant to have its own comic series. Now, when this was revealed, Dako showed off this concept art of what a Fredbear plush would look like in the Hexx style. He later confirmed that Hexx was indeed having a collaboration with Five Nights at Freddy's, saying they would be releasing some teen-oriented FNaF plushies. Now, as a plushie collector, this very much excited me. And while we don't have much to look at the moment, I am very interested to see what comes out of this brand collaboration. And since the Hexx comics are meant to revolve around sentient plushies, you'd think there'd be some FNaF characters cameoing in the comics. That was deconfirmed. What is the point anymore? But that's all the companies that have used the FNaF license, or at least the ones I could find. I'm sure there's some company that made some obscure but official FNaF merchandise. But that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed this dive into the world of FNaF merchandise, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, like and subscribe. Anyways, I'll see you all next time. Stay backwards.